everybody. Hello, who's joining us live, and thank you so much if you're watching the replay. Really do appreciate it. I have with me Donna, and if if you've ever been in a live chat, not just on my stream, but in any streams that I frequented, that Donna, but you never seen her before. So ta-da!
My worldwide debut.
Yes, exactly. And we already have some people here, and I was hoping that Maria would show up because she has a similar relationship to the deck we're talking about today. So I always feel better when she's here.
Okay.
We have Redding. Hello, Redding. Thank you so much for joining. We have Deanne. I'm so excited to see you. And we have Maria, who I said, she's my supernatural. I'm not gonna say body, but like the deck body, I would say.
Okay.
So yeah, Donna doesn't have the deck because she has more important things to do. Like moving around the world and stuff like that, buying houses. If I can, like out your secret. But
probably not that secret from most people. That would be, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if I can see the streams should be good enough quality because internet is internet. So, oh, you're in. Look at that. Someone who I know from somewhere is here as well. I never do that, by the way. When I'm a guest on a stream, I never join the chat. I'm always just reading stuff. So yeah, we're gonna just chat about the Supernatural Tarot. Which that, I mean, if you ever watched the video that I made about the deck, you know that I have a love-hate relationship with this deck. The wasted potential always just like brings me down because. But let's. I'm gonna ask you what's like. You don't have it, but where are you on the scale of getting it or not getting it?
Well, I actually rewatched your first impressions video today, just to refresh my memory.
Oh, I can't remember.
And I just don't see myself getting it, even though I want to get it, because I love it. It's one of my top all-time favorite shows, and so for a fandom deck, that should be right up my alley. But the things that you mentioned in your first impressions, like the things they did right, are
like
so
Rowena, High Priestess.
That
like
is so
perfection.
Perfect. The of her is so perfect. And if the whole deck would have been like that, I would have been take my money. Really, because I even was not sure about the color palette thing, but that actually would be fine if all the images
it works
were like that. So I'm too picky, I think, and it would bug me too much, and I would never use it. And I don't like to buy things I'm never going to use. So
yeah, I mean, I only use it for like Halloween readings, and I managed to not include this in my spooky deck collection video, which goes up right now, because it was on a table because I was getting ready for the stream and I wanted to take a picture, so it's not included in that video because I'm like forgot. But that's the only time that I use it because it's annoying.
I mean, I could have if all the majors were like Rowena, if they were all done that well, I could say, well, I'll use it as a majors only deck. Why not? But then when I rewatched your video and you got to the devil card with Lucifer and he was unrecognizable, and I was like, no, like that right there, like even the majors aren't, all uniform.
But
and it was very strange.
Yeah, and some of the minors are just so well picked. And then you get, an illustrated one, and then you get my absolute favorites, like these, like the pentacles, like what?
Those really pissed you off when you did your first impressions video.
It still pisses me off. It's funny. I couldn't get over the feeling, so I'm still pissed off.
And so it's really it's so strange because I know at the time, and this may very well be the thing. Your theory was they were trying to meet a deadline to get the deck on the shelves.
Ooh.
And so they, ended up, like said, just picking and choosing what they could, and they did it, which would explain the only partially illustrated minors. It doesn't
Yeah.
explain things like the devil card, though, because
No, that's not.
Unless I have a theory too. Either because of the deadline, they hired another artist to try to finish some work, because it almost looks like it was completely different people did the art on the ones that are so good, and then the ones where you can't tell who it is. So that's
it's
one
interesting.
theory. So were they trying to like hurry up and at least get the majors finished, and so they hired someone else? Or the other theory, which I don't know anything about this, like licensing and stuff, because obviously this is an official licensed deck, and how that translates to permission to use the, actors' images.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe they have to get individual permissions, and they couldn't get the permission for some of them, and so they had to make a likeness instead of like an exact.
I didn't think about it. That actually makes sense.
I just don't. I don't know how that actually works. So that was just the thing that popped in my head, maybe.
Yeah. And hi, Gerald. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm looking for the devil card. It's just, I was trying to do two things at once. Check who's the illustrator, but because I don't think I checked it before. But what you're saying is that maybe there wasn't a full-on permission for everybody, but because his face is not, it's him, but it's not exactly right. He was one of my favorite characters in it, and I really do think that the actor is actually really handsome. So I want his face.
Yeah, my old eyes are trying to focus. I said, "Is that Catch?"
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That one was a little off, and Lucifer for sure was a little off.
Yeah, but then there are like the cards of like death. He's
so good,
like
right? Yes.
He's so it's exactly like good. Where's the devil? The devil is hiding. The devil is hiding.
Maria.
I know that's for the Game of Thrones deck, the ones that are included. Really? I didn't know that. Now I feel mad because that's such a great deck and I love it. But I was missing some people from it, and now knowing that they didn't want to be in a tarot deck that I want to use, how dare they?
I'm surprised they have that right, like with the strike and everything, about them maybe being able to just use their AI to use them in a movie or something.
Yeah,
that they actually have the right to say, I don't want you to use, like, that's interesting actually, if that's true.
Yeah, so he looks like a frog.
Like a what? Oh, like a frog.
Like a frog. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. But or there were some, I can't remember, but there was a cartoon like 100 years ago, and there was a character in it that looks like him, but I can't remember. But yeah, this is also a very handsome actor, and you cannot see that in this freaking card. So
yeah.
But it could be that there wasn't permission to use his likeness. That could be because others are really, really good.
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense otherwise.
Gerald, you don't need to know the deck or the show. We're just chatting anyway, so
I don't even have the deck, Gerald.
I mean, I mean, he's good enough because you can recognize it's him, but his face is not just right. Hello, tarot magician.
That's really what kept me from buying it for just the majors, was that they weren't all good portraits, like some of the like a lot of the others are actually really good portraits.
Yeah, and Mario said I think some people might look different in a certain art style. That could be very well as true as well. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm just greedy. I wanted this deck to be so good because I was so excited for it, and it was a disappointment.
Well, I'm so greedy, or whatever. I don't know what it is. So something. I have no fandom decks at all. because they all disappoint.
I mean,
And
I
I'm
stand
so
by. I
ridiculous.
stand by the Buffy deck. I mean, I have
Well,
it over
that's the
there.
one. That's the one I'm closest to getting, and was closest to getting until I found out about the mistakes in the guidebook, that some of the
Yeah, but
references, they're referencing different art than what's in the cards, and so the publisher says they're going to fix it in the next printing. So if that's true,
and
then that's what I will wait for.
yeah, and I was just thinking about that. Maybe it was wishful thinking, or someone said that, and I completely forgot to like check it up, check on it. But that if we bought the first edition, we can get a replacement guidebook. Maybe there were some rumors to talk about, but I completely forgot to do, check that. So I need to, because if that's true, then I need one, because some cards are completely different. They changed it, and the cards are good, but it would be so nice to actually read why certain cards are how they are.
Right.
But I still think that it's just as fandom decks. I think the Game of Thrones is, even with repetitions on the cards, which I know now why. It's still just, it's a wonderful deck. So it works well, it reads well, it looks so cool. Not like certain cards in this one. Like
yeah, Maria wants to know if you have a count of how many of the minors are actually pips. I have no idea.
No, it's more, but I have time, so you can talk about whatever you want. I can count. Let's see. But yeah, we were just thinking, or I was just not we. I was just thinking that what helped me working with the deck, the Buffy one, was actually rewatching the show before the deck came out, and I still haven't had time to do that with Supernatural, but maybe I should. Maybe I wouldn't be that annoyed if I would be more like immediately on point with the illustrated ones.
Yeah,
because sometimes I'm like, I know this person, but I can't remember what they did and how they died. I mean,
I found a bootleg online copy of the guidebook, so that I could look and see. Like I said, sometimes I had to be reminded who it was, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I have to say, by and large, I also really like who they chose for which card. Like the ones that are illustrated, I do think their choices made sense, which you don't always have in decks either. So I would have been happy with that. I think so. It was really, really about the art. Yeah,
perfection. and then comes the pixely like bullshit. So
Yeah, and they're even fuzzy, right? It's just a bunch of pentacles, pentagrams, and they're not even in focus, right?
This is the deck we're talking about. Was Gerald asking? I'm sorry if I missed the question.
Oh, maybe Deanne was just referring to when he said, I don't know the show or the deck, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Gerald just had to leave.
Yeah, but I don't think Gerald ever watched Supernatural. I think we talked about it somewhere. There's too many. I mean, I'm not entirely through the whole deck, and it's still a bit sticky. But look at that Crowley as the king of pentagrams, like king of coins, king of whatever. It's perfect. I'm like,
Yep, I like that one too. Yeah.
Annoying. But yeah, so I'm thinking about actually, even though there's so many new shows that I haven't watched yet that I want to, and I will at some point, probably 10 years from now. But I'm thinking about rewatching the whole 13, 14. How many seasons?
Was it 15? Well, I have a confession to make, and hopefully I have seen a couple of things, but I have not watched the last season yet. I think I've seen a couple spoilers. Like I know a couple of things that I shouldn't have known, but I think it was the process of moving. Like I wasn't really watching anything, and during the whole past year, I wasn't really able to keep up with a lot of stuff. And now I could be watching it, so I guess I will do that probably as an autumn activity. But yeah, I'm also avoiding the fact that it ended.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, but if you wait too long, you're gonna just not care about it anymore that much, and you're gonna lose a lot of references. I have a friend who still haven't finished it, and I'm so annoyed. And she started to watch it, and she's like, "Oh, you remember?" And I'm like, "I don't remember. It's been years and years ago now. I don't remember anything anymore." So there's 16 cards. I didn't count stuff like this or pentagrams, because it's an ace and it's different. It's not necessarily a lazy pip, but these are lazy pips in my book. Like, go away. 16 cards, so it's not as much, but
really only 16. Why
only
is it
16?
like so many more? Why?
It feels like it's too like so much. Yeah. Yeah. I started to watch the spin-off, and I started doing readings on it with this deck, because I was like, oh, that worked so well for me for the Game of Thrones. I was doing readings for each, not Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, and I think I watched like 2 episodes, because I was just like, it's starting everything all over again, and I'm like, I've seen the same type of character like development over the years in Supernatural. I couldn't get involved with the youngsters again. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, that show, it didn't take off really, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Maria and oh god, I wanted to say her name quickly. Her channel changed recently, but Maria knows who she watched it or talked about it, so she's gonna tell me. And they were doing streams about each episode, and so I Carla, Jesus, I'm so sorry. I mean, Carla, I don't think she's gonna watch this, so she will never know. But it seems like you guys were enjoying the spin-off, so I assumed that it was just not my thing. But yeah, this deck.
Yeah.
I still like every time I get a reason to use a spooky deck, so to speak, like this, especially this time around, I'm like, Supernatural Tarot, and I'm like, oh, Supernatural Tarot. Oh, you hated it.
The relationship. I was thinking about the fact is, I don't know, after how many episodes did Kim Manners die? Seasons of Supernatural.
Who's that?
Oh, Kim Manners was the one who like developed the X-Files, and then also Supernatural. But he died, I think. I don't remember like how many seasons in it was in Supernatural, and Supernatural stayed good. But it's obvious it's like a formula, because I could see like the formula of Supernatural, the monster of the week. With you have like each season had an overriding story, but then you also had the monster of the week episodes, and then with a lot of humor in there. And so there was kind of a similar formula, but with the the different background.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much. I love this X-Files.
Yeah. But yeah, now that he's gone, I don't know if somebody else could pull out like a different theme. Like I said, it could work, but it would have to be a different theme than either, the X-Files or Supernatural. But
yeah, it's funny. I mean, I usually don't see or check who the writers are, because I'm horrible with names and stuff like that. But there are shows that are so obvious when the creators, like leaving. And I know J.J. Abrams left Alias around, I think, the 4th season, to went on to create Lost. And you can just tell that he was not there. The show was so boring for like a season before he came back and fixed everything, because the other writers were just, they didn't have that vision that was necessary for a show. So But you know, when something is on air for like 15 years or whatever, I don't know how many years was it, like season for a year or maybe less
Um,
a bit.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't know how long a season
Exactly.
ran. I don't
Yeah.
remember. It's hard. It's actually hard anyway because now that everything's on streaming, it's not
Yeah.
like the good old days where you had to
Ah,
tune in every week, so then you
I
knew, like, oh yeah,
know.
from
I mean, there are some streaming sites that are still,
yeah,
doing that. Like I'm watching the last season of Billions on HBO, and HBO puts up one episode per week. So it's I with some shows I prefer that.
yeah,
I think with a show like Supernatural as well, it worked well that you had to wait because otherwise it's too repetitive too quickly. Because they go
yeah.
on, they find the case, they hunt the monsters, they eat some pies, and then they move on. So, oh, hi,
Um,
Debbie.
I think. Oh, hi, Debbie. I think that I'm trying to think because I didn't. So Supernatural, I don't remember like what season was playing when I actually started watching it. So
Mm.
I don't think I watched it,
Oh,
from
you
the
didn't.
beginning, the very first
Mhm.
season, but it was pretty early on. But Buffy was, I think it was in the fourth season by the time I caught on
Oh,
to. I was
oh,
one of those people of a certain age who was thinking, oh yeah, it's for kids, for
yeah.
teenagers, whatever. And I was homesick from work one day, and so I was just feeling miserable, sitting on the couch surfing, the television, and a certain channel had old episodes of Buffy on in the afternoon,
No.
and I clicked on that channel. Buffy, an episode was playing, and I think it was the one where Spike and Joyce first interact at Buffy.
Oh,
It was that
oh,
episode.
that's so. You
Yeah,
remember? That's so cool.
where she makes him a cup of
The
tea, and all
awkwardness,
that.
like
And I'm watching this, and I'm just like, this is hilarious, and
it is. It
it was so clever, and I was like, oh no. So then I started, trying to find out where I could watch it. So like we didn't have streaming yet, but I
Yeah.
think you could go into a channel and they had things on demand. So I was like, where can I
Oh,
stand? And then I ended up, like I said, watching it from the beginning. Got my best friend hooked on because she was the same as me. Like, oh, that's stupid. And the movie was kind of stupid too. So
yeah.
I wasn't
I
really
mean,
interested because of the movie. I didn't enjoy it. So I got her. I said, "You're not going to
can
believe this.
remember.
This show is fantastic." I said, "The dialogue and I said everything. Yeah, the acting, everything is really
Yeah,
good."
it was. Yeah, yeah. Buffy's is well.
I said, "Yeah, the characters happen. Like say the main characters happen to be teenagers in the show, but it's not for teenagers. It's
No, it's not.
yeah,
I mean, when I watched it when we watched it on the Hunger, like the on TV, so it was like a year or so behind. But I didn't start watching it from the beginning as well. My sisters were watching it, and then when I was sick, when I was actually like at home and I couldn't do anything, just watch TV. I started watching it as well, and I was the first season is kind of like still like, what is the show about? Like, is it that
yeah.
good?
And a lot of shows have
A
that.
few episodes,
They're
but then
still
they
trying,
they found,
yeah,
yeah, and it was kind of similar with Supernatural because I know it's not a scary show, but I don't watch horror. I watch a lot of thrillers, but horror is not my thing. And the first season like scared the shit out of me, to be honest, uh, because I was in a different room and I had a bed and my ceiling was as white as like Sam's in the show. And when I went to sleep, I could just imagine someone being there, like put there by the demon. That's
oh no.
like I can't sleep like this. So I was just happy when the show just dialed back on the scary supernatural thing. I know a lot of people are missing that, but I was like, oh, second season, good, good. We're doing something different. So yeah.
I don't. I am a horror fan. It depends. Not everything. Like I said, I
Yeah.
prefer certain types of things, and
Yeah.
actually, I prefer like movies that have a supernatural theme.
Oh,
They're
like
so
paranormal.
called supernatural. Yeah, I had to check that out. Well, I was going to say the same as with Buffy, where I think people thought, oh, that's for teenagers. I think Supernatural, they thought, oh, that's for guys. It's a boys show, you know, it's an action show.
With a cast like Dean and Sam, it's for the guys.
Right? I know.
Sorry,
I think,
but
but a lot of people thought that, like, oh, this is, you know, going to appeal to young men. But yeah, were they ever wrong?
Have they met us? Like,
right?
Have they met a woman? Like, I'm sorry, but I started watching the show because after Gilmore Girls, Sam Dean, you know, you have to mix up their names. It was so annoying that who's the new Dean, and no, he's not Dean, he's Sam now, like stuff like that. We started watching it for him, and then Jensen Ackles like quickly took over because he's just a handsome guy. So like, I don't understand. But yeah, I'm just keeping the comment on because I remember that, and I think Crowley is a perfect king of pentacles. You know, like he keeps everything in check. He knows how to rule over the underworld, and
Yeah,
he has his good and bad aspects of it, like the cards as well. But I remember that I was in denial for like at least the next half season that no, he might come back. He's not really gone, you know, like because he was my absolute favorite character of like. I like the actor. I really liked him. He had a minor role in Battlestar Galactica as well, and I knew him from there, and I really loved his character there. So I was just so happy to see him in
he was also
Supernatural.
in an episode of the X-Files.
Yes, I remember. After that, I watched that.
That thing's on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
People are
say,
lucky.
what was it that Abaddon said about Crowley? Like she called him something like the salesman of hell or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But it's true. He ran hell like a business, like you know, and that's what makes him a good King of Pentacles. It was like, yeah, it's just business. It wasn't.
He didn't do it just to torment people or just to be like stupid about things. He did it like in a smart way
to keep himself secure and everything. But yeah, it was like his whole.
He was a king
or whatever.
Yeah, he was a king. Yeah, absolutely.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I mean. I started watching. David says I started watching Supernatural in the 10th season. Oh, okay. I watched what 200 episodes in about 2 weeks. That's dedication.
Oh, wow.
Is there enough time? Like, how did you even watch that? Says me, who watched like some. I don't even know. I watched once a season of, I think, like regular 24 episodes within like 3 days because I was just, who needs sleep? I'm just watching and watching. So yeah, once you get hooked on Sam and Dean, it's exactly like this. Honestly, it's so funny.
Buddy Team Castiel.
Yes, I mean, yes, I mean, I like Castiel, but some aspect of the character were after a while a bit like, but can't you just learn from your previous experiences a bit more? So, but it's true for Sam and Dean as well. So, you know, but yeah, you know, people like to say that Supernatural is all about the monsters and the monster hunting, but it was never that. It was about family. It was about their relationship, the love of the brothers, and doing everything for the ones you love. And that's why I love the show. You know, it's not about the cool monsters or the monster hunting or the pie eating or the jokes. It's about the relationship between the two. So
I always liked it when they had
same
episodes where the monster was, like you said, actually trying to not hurt people, or but you know, and create a moral dilemma, because this.
It was with a vampire, right?
I think there was a vampire. There was a werewolf.
I mean,
one
yeah,
that
it
was.
was. I can't remember the character name, but it was. Oh God, I used to know the name for the. Bye, Red Wing. Thank you so much for being here. The actor.
That didn't say like Sam had a date with that werewolf woman.
Yeah, he was their friend.
Didn't know, and then when he found out, and she didn't. I don't think she knew either that she was a werewolf. And then, of course, when Garth became a werewolf, that changed things too.
Yeah, I'm looking for him. I just, he was in my hand before, but yeah, but stuff like that is, the moral dilemma. If someone is different, but we deem them inherently bad just because they are something that they cannot help, because becoming a werewolf is not their fault. And what if they actually choose to like try to not kill other people and try to just be like, what is the line where you can fault someone for that?
Yeah,
and
that's
because the show dealt with a lot of we are the judges, the executioners, and everything all at once, like the brothers being carrying out sentences immediately. And I always think that like the cards, the tarot cards are kind of giving you the sentence, so to speak. Like you're asking a question, like this is the situation and this is it. Like you have to accept what, I mean, obviously if you believe in tarot and everything, but you accept that what's in the what's in the cards are the truth. But is it like like,
well, and when how many people here, when I know everybody's done it, you ask for advice or like say, okay, if I do this, what's the likely outcome? If I do this, what's the likely outcome?
Yeah.
And then the thing that you actually want to do, not what gives the better outcome. And so you do it anyway.
Sometimes I'm like that. I pull cards, the cards are like, nope, it's not working. But I'm like, but I wanna do it, and I'm still doing it, and it's not gonna be good. But that's where free will comes in.
Right. And what I also found out, I didn't get punished for doing it. In fact, I can think of a recent case where it seemed that was the thing I wanted to do that kind of looked like not as good of an outcome as the other thing. Turned out pretty good. I think it would have been a mistake to go the other direction. So then I'm questioning. So why did I get that answer? Was it my interpretation that was off, or was I influencing?
Sometimes I feel like,
somehow, like I said, and I know there's also videos on reading for yourself, and how try to keep that as neutral as possible, but it's difficult sometimes.
When I did readings on my, when I had to choose between the two jobs that I was considering, the library and the one that I'm actually in, I think I was just too close to the situation. And when I was pulling cards, instead of seeing what actually would be the better option for me, I seen, the cards were reflecting back what I was feeling about the situation. So I think you can be too close to a reading. That's why it's, I'm not saying I don't read for myself, because I clearly do, and I do often. But sometimes when someone is just too emotionally charged, I think it's better to have someone else read, because they can just be like, it's not my life, I don't care. Like, here are your towers, here is your death card, here is your all the 10 of swords and everything you don't want to see, because I can give it to you the way you need to hear it. So yeah. But it's a complicated thing, but it's kind of similar to how the show changed and learned. The guys are, the boys are, guys sounds just weird, the boys keep learning life and about each other and their relationship and their roles. And what Maria said, that Dean had to unlearn his father's absolute way of thinking, and that was a struggle for him for sure, because he was just like, this is black, this is white,
I remember
nothing in between.
when I was watching your video, because John is the emperor, right, in the deck.
Yes,
You
I
were
don't see him as an
questioning. You
emperor.
were like, yeah, kind of, like you weren't too sure about it, but then so I was thinking about it. Is he right for the emperor? But that's the way I see it, is he laid down the rules, and Dean forever after was following those rules. Like he lived his life by those rules, like by what his father taught him. And like you said, maybe learned, adapted a little bit as he got older, but at least how he started out was following his dad's set of rules, what he had been taught by their father growing up. And so I thought, yeah, that actually I think does make John the emperor in that aspect.
Yeah, because I was just thinking that we don't see him enough, but now that you're saying this, it makes sense, because the emperor has to lay down rules, and they have to demand their subjects or followers to actually follow those rules, because otherwise they don't, they can't rule. But I still think that Mary as the empress is not working.
Yeah, especially, because she wasn't around for most of the series. So
just because she's a mom, like, that's not good enough.
I guess that would be the only connection, is that maybe, like you said, that's whatever memories Sam and Dean have of her was only as a mother, not as a hunter, like what they have with their father. So maybe it comes a little bit from that. But
I almost said something, but it's in the, I think it's in this last season, so I don't want to say anything. But yeah, things happen that because I don't know where you are with the story, so I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, if it's in the last season at all, then
I'm not entirely sure. So, but anyway, what we know about her, the Empress has that. No, I'm not gonna say gentle, because it's like, oh, that's sexist, but that caring, nurturing, creative, like powerful, but still gentle and nurturing energy. And Mary was just like an ideal in the boy's head, more so than anything.
Right. Yeah, because when she comes back, I do know about her coming back. So I do know. I don't know exactly what happens later on, but well, I guess I know Jack killed her, right? Yeah.
I don't
know.
I
think that's the last.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm not spoiling anything.
That's the last thing I remember seeing about her. And so, like you said, we really only get to know her very late in the show. And
what we know about her is not an empress.
I thought of her, what their memories of her were like. So.
Yeah, and if you look at the card, I don't know how much you can actually see her face, but does it look like? Doesn't it look like she's bored?
She looks like the Mary that we find out about later in the show, but yeah, how does that fit the Empress? I don't know.
It's not an Empress.
Yeah.
I actually don't know who the Empress would be. Like, I honestly, I really need to rewatch the show, because maybe Maria has an idea.
I kind of think, because they used Jody. I was thinking Jody, because they used her for, was it Justice, or I forgot. I know Jody's in there, right? And
yeah.
She could have been a good one, maybe.
Yeah.
And for a hunter, maybe Ellen, right? Like, for a hunter, she's pretty nurturing, I guess, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be like a hunter, I don't think. But Jody makes sense.
It's hard in the context of the show to find too many like cuddly, nurturing characters.
Yeah, but I want to see what their explanation for her. Yeah, I mean, The description is the Empress is a powerful, protective, and nurturing maternal figure, much like the Winchester's matriarch Mary. Like, have you watched the show? She wasn't
Right?
like that. Like, what the
I
hell?
actually, Debbie, I was just thinking what Debbie said. Bobby actually was the most nurturing one person to them, which is, I was just thinking the exact same thing. Except he's the hermit, and he makes a good hermit also.
Yeah. I think for the hermit is good. I completely agree with Bobby as the hermit.
Yeah, but I was thinking he was like that steady parental.
Yeah, I mean he could be an Empress. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, Donna is Justice, but just because because she's Police, so she's Justice, but she should have been like the Empress. But I guess they didn't want a lesser character, even though she had more screen time and everything. So,
but she's Justice. So, but like I said, because I know Jodie is in there. So, which card is she? I'm trying to think.
Temperance. Oh, she's here.
Okay.
Temperance.
What do they say about that? About well, actually, I can look at my bootleg.
Sheriff Jodie Mears is a woman who smoothly inhabits many different roles in her life. Really, she's a successful career woman, a fierce hunter, and a strong protective mother to her foster kids. She is a perfect embodiment of temperance, a card which symbolizes level-headedness, fairness, and good judgment, and reminds us to cultivate balance and moderation in our lives. This explanation doesn't really make sense for the card. I mean, it's just...
It makes it sound
I kind of feel like it's just words.
Like that description, I was like, well, that sounds like the Empress.
Exactly, like the nurturing, caring for your children, especially if it's foster, even more so, like... but it's temperance because she's more than just a mother. Like what?
So, yeah, so she's a woman basically.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, I don't know. Jack's mom. Yeah.
Oh yes, Maria.
Yeah, but we didn't get to really know her, so maybe
No.
That's why.
She would have. Yeah, would have been kind of a, like said, more minor character for a major card, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jack as the star, I really like that.
Yes, I thought
that was a great one. Gabriel as the moon, I think so too.
Yeah.
Even though I think I said Gabriel would have been better as a devil. Because, he's the trickster. Gabriel is the trickster. That's the devil card. It works for the moon as well, but...
I guess, you could make a case for that. And then... But then at the same time, there's a Lucifer in the show. And not just, Lucifer, but he... because he actually is an angel, has to get the permission of his host to embody his host. So he did that by not quite telling the truth, and so sort of luring. I forgot actually what was his host's name? I forget. Anyway,
I mean, I'm horrible with this, so I have no idea.
Yeah, but anyway,
Maria might know. She knows everything.
He
but yeah,
did get him to agree to that, I think, using not
I mean, that's true. I wasn't thinking about that he needs to weasel his way into the host's body.
Yes.
He needs to trick them. Yeah. It's because I don't associate that type of manipulation with the devil. It's more of a Seven of Swords for me, if anything. For me, the trickster energy, like, I'm not saying anything you should do this, but look at what I have in mind. That's the devil. Because, the devil needs to be tempting. If the devil is not tempting, if you know that you're doing something, I mean, I'm not saying it's not, it doesn't work for the tempting of the host thing, but it felt more so like a flat out manipulation than just this. I have all the candy and all the toys you want to play with if you come to the dark side. So, I mean, you're winning the quiz, Maria. Like, you know everything. So, but yeah, I don't know. I was honestly, I was hoping that after the feedback we were giving to the deck creators, because the community, everybody who bought the deck was just like, why? I was hoping that there would be an actual like a new printing, and they would do something about the pips, but I don't think they ever gonna do that because there wasn't
Yeah. Has
anything
that
like
ever
that.
happened? Because people complain about lots of different decks and I mean, other than an actual error, like an actual error in a card or error in the book or something.
Oh yeah,
I've never heard of them actually changing the content though, because people
yeah.
weren't happy. I don't know.
Yeah, but Inside Edition pays attention. That's why, like the Buffy deck is quite good now, because they were paying attention, because people are like,
Yes.
we want the illustrated pips,
Oh yeah.
illustrated minors and stuff like that. So
No, yes, you're
they
right.
can
I think
still
they do
do
pay
the.
attention, but I don't think they ever go back and redo a deck that they already did. But yes, I think they do pay attention as far as maybe taking it into, future decks. I don't know. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm
everyone's
assuming that
you see.
maybe it's not as easy as like maybe the contracts are like set and so like set for this type of work, this amount of work, and calling everybody back would be more of a hassle than how much they can actually sell. They think that they wouldn't be able to sell the new version, even though they could sell a better deck immediately.
They could at least sell one. That wouldn't make it worth their while, but they could. I
I
know
would
they
buy one. And have you guys seen the one that was created by a fan on, I think I've seen it on Pinterest. Someone was creating an RWS clone version of a supernatural deck, and it was just so good, but unfortunately they disappeared. And I was hoping that because of all the artwork, and the artist actually disappeared from their website and stuff like that, I was hoping that they would that would mean that someone actually like made a contract, and the deck would come out, because it wasn't licensed, because it was a fan made thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a few pictures to show.
That was truly like gorgeous.
That was a really
Like
good
if
one.
that, I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the big difficulty, I think, is because this one came out and obviously has the permissions. I doubt someone
Yeah,
else
it's licensed and everything.
yeah, but it's so pretty. And yeah, I don't have any of the images, I don't think.
I mean, I know I've saved them on my computer, but I think I had it on Pinterest as well, but don't have a separate, what is it called, like board. So I'm going to go look for my tarot, or not. Like it doesn't show anything.
Yeah, Maria, that's what I was thinking. She said Supernatural is owned by Warner Brothers, and they go after people who infringe on their rights, I guess. And I was wondering if that's why, like I said, maybe she disappeared shortly after this deck came out, because maybe they even didn't want those images out there, although, like I said, it's her personal artwork. So yes.
I mean, Rowena was the high priestess in her deck as well. I remember that, and that was like a really good fit. But there were not. I didn't like agreed with everything. Like the Empress was still Mary, and I'm like, why? But the lovers were the brothers and stuff like that. So
yeah, that makes sense. Oh,
so
I forgot.
This was a good one.
I'm trying to look.
the Tower was Crowley, which was interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Crowley
I
could
say
be
I
Crowley could be the devil as well, the devil card.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, he definitely
He could tempt people
did.
into doing things
Yes, he didn't. Yeah,
and trick them into, but manipulation as well, but not in a way that. But maybe it's because I'm partial to the actors, like.
I was trying to see who. So who actually? I knew it earlier today. Who's actually the lovers in the deck?
Isn't it like the brothers in this one as well?
Oh, is it?
I don't know. Is it?
Oh no, it's Sam and Jess.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that's the 10 of Cups or.
Which is also, yeah, it's kind of, well, I was thinking about, at first I didn't like it. And I thought, really?
I did. I mean, no, I don't know. I mean, because it's
then,
not, like a choice and everything.
Because then I started thinking about that aspect and I was like, oh, because Sam chose, he chose a life, with her, going to college and being with her and, trying to have a normal life over the family business.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that, if you look at it that way, then it does work. Because at first I was kind of like, really, a character, she was only there for 5 minutes.
A hot second. Yeah, exactly.
Literally hot. And so
yeah, same.
Flames. So at first, with the, say, partnership part, I, thinking about lovers as partnership, that didn't work for me. But then thinking about the choice, I actually thought, it does kind of work.
Yeah, but I think it could have worked for the 10 of Cups. I think in this case, for the supernatural, the brothers card would have worked. Like, everybody could have understood that they are not in love, but they chose each other, the love for each other over and over again, even when they knew that the world would end if they saved the other. Like, how much more powerful you can get with love if not like that. So I think in this case that was a miss on the choice for this card.
And they did a pip for the 10 of Cups, right? Is that one of the ones
I
did?
I think so. Yeah.
So, and I thought, well, can I blame them? Who got a happy ending in that show? But I thought, how cute would it have been with Werewolf Garth with his werewolf family being
that's true as well. Yeah. This is what you get. 10, the most boring goblets. look the same. Yeah.
Why there's really only 16? Why do they bother me so much?
And they could have just made it a tiny bit illustrated. There were so many things that doesn't require anyone's face to be on it and still works. I don't know which pentacles now, but you can use the inside of the hood of the car. There's a pentacle and weapons inside, stuff like that you can use. So, oh, 10 of Cups, someone is when you sacrifice yourself to close hell. That's interesting that that's a 10 of Cups for you. I mean, I would say 10 of Pentacles more so if I have to go for the 10 of anything. Because for the legacy, for the future, for why she did it.
Mm-hmm. I was just reading what he chose college and met
her in the process. I mean, yeah, but
yes,
she's just part of a normal life, I guess. The choice here,
right? She represented, his trying for a normal life. His choice to go that direction instead of the way he ended up going, as if it was inevitable anyway.
Like it was an actual effort. Like the 8 of Wands. Do you get anything like the 8 of Wands from this one?
No.
Where's the energy? Where's the movement?
Yeah.
Where's like
Yeah, they
something?
could have even at least like lined the bones up the way it is in the traditional RWF.
Yeah, if nothing's more exact, or just display them in different directions,
Yeah.
or
Something. Yeah.
something. But it could be that, someone was there. What is it called? Oh God, like not a temp, but someone who's just
like
go there.
But
Intern, like an intern, and they were told that you need to draw the 6 of Cups, and you're like, okay, 6 cups, like what's that? There's 6 cups. I can do that. It kind of feels like an intern.
It does kind of seem though like parts of the deck, like the deck wasn't all created by one person. I really get that feeling when I'm looking at it.
I mean, they only listing like one illustrator, so if there's anyone else,
Right.
they are not credited. So
oh no, it was probably some like low paid lackey working in the
intern.
art or something like that, like said, who would never
Yeah.
And maybe some tips were just supposed to be placeholders until they came up with art, and then they were, like I said, like, oops, we're running out of time.
Yeah, like, did we leave that in? Oopsie.
Yeah.
Could be. Actually, could be. Yeah. I don't see anything. Yeah, just one. And they don't never listen to me when I'm complaining about this deck. Inside Edition doesn't care. I'm so hurt by it because, of course, my opinion matters.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I know I don't think I talked to anybody who loves the show and was excited for this deck, who actually ended up liking the deck fully. There are some people who are more forgiving and they are more like, oh, but it's not that bad. And I can be like that too. I mean, I'm used to the cardstock now. It's I'm actually getting really, like, I'm not saying, okay, I'm not fond of the cardstock. That's too powerful. That's too much. But I like the cardstock now.
Is it the same as the Buffy deck, or
no?
is it...
It's no. It
Okay.
it has a waxy, like a
Oh,
little plasticky feel. It's
okay.
paper, but the coating is just weird.
Yeah, because
I mean, yeah.
got a chance, a shop here, where they have a nice tarot section and oracle section, and they even had a little display going on, and they had all kinds of little things, and then they had, I forgot what the box was, but it was some kind of box, and then they had a deck there on display, and it was the Buffy deck. So I had to touch it because I've never felt, what cardstock is like, and I thought that was really nice cardstock. So it made me wonder if all of their decks are like that, but I guess
nope. But I need to check because I can't remember. I mean, I trimmed mine because I was bothered by the borders. But now that you mention it, it's quite similar. Maybe the difference is not as big as I thought. Oh, it's actually, maybe I'm completely wrong and it's the exact same cardstock, but it just felt different.
Yeah, I remember people, a few people saying they didn't love, I think, the cardstock of the Supernatural. So then when I
didn't like it when it came out.
Touched the Buffy one, and I was like, oh, this is actually, it seemed pretty nice to me. Of course, I didn't try to shuffle it or anything. I just picked up one card and then, put it back. But so I was just curious because I don't have any of their decks. I don't have any of the Insight Edition decks.
Oh, I do. I do. I have a few. Like, not as much as I used to because I sold a few
decks. So
yeah, but now that you mention it, I have to do a closed eyes, like I'm closing my eyes and like asking someone to hand me 2 cards and I don't know which one is which.
Like a taste,
because my mind is like, no, it's different, but is it?
A blind cardstock test? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I forgot what I was going to say.
It does.
What it had to do with. Was it cardstock? No. It's
Who
gone.
knows? Just like the hour. I mean, we're already chatting for an hour, so I think we said everything we wanted to about the deck. And I don't think I changed your mind about getting it. Nor was I actually wanting to.
It was a revelation that there's really only 16 pip cards.
It is.
And I was like, why does it seem so many more that were so annoying? But that wasn't the only, like I said, that wasn't the only thing. I'm also annoyed by the say any of the images that don't look like the person, where there's so many that look exactly like the person, and then you have the ones that don't, and that even potentially bothers me more. So
I mean, on some cards they don't look like themselves either. Exactly. So
that's true.
But
well, yeah, that's true. Maria. Yeah, Maria's is only it is an entire suit if they would all be 16. Yeah, that's true.
And I think the cards that are pips are cards that often appear in readings. That's why it's more visible, like the Six of Swords, like Six of Blades. And when Four of Swords, that's something that comes up all the time because they are relating to people's situations a lot. So, Eight of Wands.
Walkthrough. I also noticed that sometimes you'd have two, at least, I don't know if you ever had 3 in a row, but you'd sometimes have 2 in a row, and then you'd have, an illustrated one. If they would have alternated, like, an illustrated and then a pip and then an illustrated, and but when you were going through them in order, there would be at least 2, if not 3 in a row sometimes.
Yeah, and stuff like 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, that comes up all the time in reading. So I think they went with the illustrated version for cards that are often in 3 of Pentacles. I get it all the times. 6 of Pentacles.
Did they?
7 of Cups.
Now I'm wondering, did they go for also like the cards that are generally associated with happiness or contentment, or maybe they couldn't think of anything from the show?
Maybe. They only had the bad ones.
Yeah, 9 of Cups. I don't know.
Interesting. Could be. Yeah, 10 of Cups as well. 2 of Swords. Let's just forget about it because
done that.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I think we can finish here because I think we talked about it as much as we wanted. And yeah, so my video about the spooky decks that I'm hopefully using for this season is it's already up. So if you want to watch it, anybody can watch it. And the plan is to be live with Richie next Tuesday, doing some reading.
Collaborate.
Hoping to do readings.
I missed the other 2, so okay.
We were planning on doing one in the middle, in between the previous one and this one, but life happened, so we couldn't. Oh yes, 10 of Cups, Sam with his little son. Yeah.
Aww.
It could have been, yeah, that could have been a great one. See, there are options, so that's annoying. But yeah, so I will be hopefully live next week as well. I managed to film a bunch of videos this weekend, so obviously I'm just putting out them because I want them out, so it was fun. But I don't know, do you plan on doing anything? Are you on anyone's channel or anything like that coming up?
No, I don't have any plans really for
Yet.
YouTube. Yeah. Everybody starts saying that, right? I'm not going to have a channel. So, but yeah, not right now. Also because
the move and everything.
Continue now. The settling in part is going to be, continuing for a while. So,
but you're going to have a lovely Christmas.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes, but not here.
Oh, you're going back?
We're going to Holland
Uh-huh.
for Christmas, to see family.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it'll just be nice. I'm so anxious to get into the boxes with my decks and see if they're okay. It's been over a year. It's been,
When will they arrive?
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
like
cool.
third week of
did you buy anything in the meantime, like since you're there? Nice. 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 I mean,
I did actually. I bought things before we left, and my suitcase was like, oof. And then I bought things and I didn't think I was going to find anything. I thought, oh, in Europe, everything's going to be more expensive, and so I'm not really going to buy that much. And then Amazon Netherlands had they get sometimes fantastic deals on certain decks.
Oh, that's nice.
What's that one? The Australian publisher?
Rockpool?
Rockpool. I could never get a Rockpool deck on sale, usually in the US.
Yeah.
And sometimes the price, it's like 50% off if you catch it at the right time on Amazon NL.
Nice.
They sometimes Hay House decks, when they're on pre-order, will be like 50% off. Not always.
Cool.
Sometimes, if you catch it early enough, you could get it for a great price. So good. I had to discover that. So,
I mean, there has to be some advantages to move countries, so Okay, then let's wave goodbye, and then Donna, please stay like in the stream, and then we can just talk about it and everything. And thank you so much everyone who watched it, who were here or who will watch the replay. I hope this was interesting and fun, and you got to know Donna a bit more. And see you in the next one. Bye guys.
Bye everybody.